We were playing some good games. We were having a lot of possession, a lot of shots on goal. And I think us having to go through some of that adversity and coming out and still being a cohesive group was a good positive that we could take moving forward.
So I think the past 2 years or so, we've had a lot of talent, and I think that something that we've kind of struggled with, specifically for the past year, was kind of capitalizing on that. And I think that this year, you can already tell that it's much different. I think the vibe of the team and like how we're progressing together and developing already, even in the first week of preseason so far. And I'm really excited to see kind of like how we grow throughout the season.
Being confident in each other and ourselves, and knowing that we are good players who can do good things for the team. So kind of having that confidence in each other and putting each other first is going to be important. And we've already kind of started that in practices, and just try to celebrate our goals more and have that be what we look forward to and what we strive for every game. I think that'll be really good for us.
Last season is a little far back in my memory, but something that really sticks out is our spring season. I think we experienced a lot of growth after our fall season. We weren't as successful as we had hoped to be, so I think that was a big learning experience, especially for our team in the spring. We got a new strength coach, which was very exciting, so that definitely contributed to some of the enthusiasm we felt in the spring in the ways that we could grow, not necessarily soccer-wise, but in the weight room and in conditioning. We really stepped it up and grew as a team, so I think that was a really positive experience for us.
I think we have a lot of strong returners that are going to be back with the team, that are going to help us achieve some of our goals that we've set forth from how we ended last season. I think it didn't end up how we wanted it, and we have a lot of the potential to make a lot of those changes and kind of know what needs to be done moving forward.
So when we came in for preseason this year, we kind of started at the basics, and we kind of are building on top of that and progressing up from there. And so instead of just kind of going straight into we should be scoring, we're starting at the fundamentals of like, how are we going to score? What's the build up in order to score and things like that. And yeah, we struggled last season, and hopefully the more we work on it and the more people are open to trying new things, new formations, and doing whatever it takes to succeed really, and whatever it takes to get us to where we need to be, and scoring obviously is helpful.
I think a leadership group is a really interesting way to organize team leadership. I think it gives a lot of different people the opportunity to step up and be a leader. A leader doesn't have to be the best player on a team. I think a leadership group really embodies that mentality. So people can be a leader in the locker room, they can be a leader in the weight room. They don't necessarily have to be the leader when it comes to a game, but that having those leaders is equally as important. So it really gives room for diverse opinions to come forward, and for the true feelings of a team to come forth whenever we're having discussions.
Yeah, so we want some more ownership within our leadership, and we don't want to be dictators in any way. We want the girls to feel like they really have ownership in what we're doing, and things that we do off the field, things that we do on the field. And in my opinion, I feel like we've done a good job, and the girls have done a great job. This leadership group is unlike any that we've seen in the past, so I think we're heading in the right direction.
I think a lot of that has to just do with leadership and people being more confident, like I said. And I think there's a lot of people who have stepped up in terms of being able to lead by example, whether that's on the field or off the field. I think we have a lot of people who are driven to be more of an influencer on the team rather than just a follower. And I think the more people that we can have in those roles, the more that can kind of create a cohesive group on the field and help us move forward. And that's just going to be with confidence. We're a good team, and we just got to believe that. So
just the introduction of new personalities and bringing them into the culture is great. Every time you introduce a new group of first-year players, it could go one of two ways. But I think with how we're recruiting the person and not necessarily the player, we're adding good people to where we're going.
Yeah, as a senior class, we definitely want to preserve what classes before us have instilled in us. So things like respect, hard work, ownership, we want to leave that with the team after our time here. But also not being afraid to try new things. I think that's something that our class has been very open to. We don't necessarily want to keep doing something just because we've done it before. We want to question why we're doing what we're doing and is it actually making us better. So I definitely want classes after us to feel comfortable doing that moving forward.
I mean, like, kind of to my point, I think we say that we have potential every year, and it's true. And I think the difference between the teams that have potential and the teams that actually go out there and win championships and make change for their program is the little things. And it's all like the small changes and the small sacrifices that you make to be a better team and to be determined and disciplined and do the things that are hard. We had a really awesome coach who had said it's like the small changes and the small sacrifices that you make that are going to yield the big time change. And I think us being able to do that this year is going to set us forward for the future.
I definitely think she's done a really great job of not using the one shoe fits all mentality with each new team we get each year. Because as much as players stay the same, every year is different, every situation is different. So I think she's done a really great job of recognizing that and making sure that the team is on board with whatever new traditions we're going to start to do or changes we'll make or things that will stay the same. So I really appreciate the fact that she wants it all to be team driven and less of coach driven. So just really being able to embody that as a leadership group and then that trickling down to the entire team has been something that she's stuck to throughout the 4 years that I've seen her as a coach. So really appreciate that sense. And also our assistant coach being here for a second year, I think Ellie has done a great job of being compatible with Bree, but also being her own person and sticking to her own coaching style. I think it's definitely beneficial to have both of them as a unit, as a team, leading us as coaches instead of, just a head coach and assistant coach, following whatever they do. So I really think Ellie's done a great job of also embodying our team culture, but sticking to her roots.
I keep saying that it's such a different group and we care so much about the people who are on this team that we want the best for them. And whatever goals that we can reach and even go beyond, that's what we are hoping to do for this group because we have so much love for them.
We are so grateful for the amount of opportunities that we have and the facilities that we have and the staff who are so willing to help us and help us to be successful.
And we are so appreciative of the people we have, the facilities we have, even something as simple as the people who are swiping us in at the dining hall, or the things that go on behind this camera, or anyone who's supporting us in the academic field, or John Cole, or whoever we have that we know supports us, that helps us grow.
We definitely want to make it to the championship game again, and we want to win it. But I think that's definitely something that we were surprised. A lot of people seemed surprised our freshman year when we made it to the championships. And I want it to be something that when it happens, we're like, hell yeah, we did that. It's not going to be a surprise when it happens. And I think that'll be us reaching our goals of making NCAAs and making this program different than it's been in the past. And we have all the ability to do that. It's just doing the small things. So